within no time. All right, let's come back and take a look at the newspapers now. And we start off with the Standard, and it talks about making of a scandal. That's a big headline there. And you'll realize that today there's no single headline that matches any other. Stories are as varied as they come, and so the Standard goes with this one. They call it a family affair. A trove of payroll records, WhatsApp messages, and bank documents suggest a teacher's welfare scheme financed by members' monthly deductions has been captured by a network of relatives and associates. At the center of the allegations is a leadership accused of betraying trust and presiding over possible abuse of funds and office. That story is on page 6. We do have a physical copy of this paper. This is the only story on the front page. Inaitwa Kewota. Kenya, Kewota. What is this one? Let me take a look at page 4 of this story, because it would appear many teachers are affected by it. It was supposed to be a lifeline for Kenya women teachers. Yes, a welfare organization and vehicle for empowerment. Now, how teachers' welfare scheme became a family's payroll empire. I'm told that one of the people in the leadership has employed quite a number of her relatives to this. And they're earning some good salaries as well. Na hii pesa ni ya welfare ya walimu. Yeah. So if I told your mother, I'm sure every family has a teacher. I'm sure you have an aunt or someone who's a teacher.
My mother and father, they're
both teachers, yes. Quite a number of my uncles are teachers, but come to think of it. Yeah. So especially women teachers, their welfare, someone is taking advantage of it. And that's what is on the front page of this paper. So amount of money each teacher contributes monthly is about 200 bob, but they're like 95,000. Yeah? So that's about 19 million shillings monthly. In 12 months, that's 228 million shillings. Alafu kuna mtu tu hapo ana preside over this fund. Alafu kumbe ni familia yake ndio ina benefit. So that's the main story. Kule ndani, inside Joe Nyaga's burial wishes at center of 220 million succession battle. It's only last week we were talking about how over the past month or so we've been discussing about issues succession. And we discussed about wills and whether or not you've actually made a will. Chunga sana. Kule kwingine, yesterday President William Ruto hosted a Corino in State House na akasema he has the right to host them and to host anyone else at State House. On the back page, Spurs ruled bad luck as relegation fears deepen. Tottenham Hotspur were not relegated. Now they fall, and the below are the main teams that will survive the EPL. Lakini shida hata sio Spurs. Kusema ukweli tu, Arsenal fans, this one we have to admit. It's painful, yes, but I think it's time to say, okay, fine, our season is done.
Kuna hopes.
Mimi sina hopes. As an Arsenal fan, I've lost hope.
Ya EPL? Ya kushinda EPL?
Ya kushinda EPL hata hiyo nimepoteza kila kitu. Champions League even worse.
Hapana, heri tushinde hiyo EPL tuachane na Champions League.
Our director today is Emmanuel Inonda.
Hapana, wacha nikwambie, if they just change the players, ama if our players wakijituma vizuri, we might get something from EPL.
Nimeinua mkono. Inonda, nimeinua mkono. That's the Standard today.
Let's take a look at the Daily Nation. Director, you're out of order. Daily Nation. Trouble in Ruto, ODM Union. Trouble in Ruto at ODM Union. In what signals a dramatic implosion in the broad-based government, ODM has threatened to walk out of the arrangement unless President Ruto reins in a powerful cable accused of coercing its MPs to join UDA and warning cabinet secretaries against associating with the orange outfit. The minority leader, Junet Mohammed, has been quoted here. We are not in this union by mistake or by invitation. We joined to foster unity, and if this agenda is no longer needed, we should be told because we don't lack options. If they feel they're now on a safer ground, we can let them form their own government in 2027. Oh, wow. Sasa tone ina change, language ina change. It's plan B. Junet cautions UDA that ODM has options if union collapses.
How many options?
What are the options?
Yeah, what are the options? By the way, vile watu wapige kifua sana over the past 1 year or so, what are the options that they have?
What are the options? Because sasa washa abandon this other side.
Yes.
The United Alternative Government.
You know, they have like, the cracks within ODM are like 4-way.
Yeah.
Kuna like 4 different factions right now. Kuna wale wanataka kazi za cabinet, kuna wale wanataka nyanza ya zoning, kuna wale wanasema linda mwananchi, na kuna wengine pia wanataka deputy president.
Or is this the reason why they're so big on zoning? Because wanaona ni kama kuna vile mambo yanaiva.
Divide and rule. Divide and rule. Now they're being forced to abandon ODM and join UDA. Mambo ni ulisema mambo ni nini?
Mambo ni mwecheche.
Mwecheche.
Yes. Right, and that's the main story on the front page of the Daily Nation this morning. Other quick headlines: Aviator, the gaming craze pushing addicts to the brink. This story is on page 7, says Aviator, a crash-style betting game where players try to cash out before a virtual plane flies away, is plunging gamers into debt, depression, and divorce. Last year, we also saw a story like this. So ni kama Aviator imeshindwa kutoka hii Kenya. We'll take a look at it in another newspaper, which has covered it extensively. But other quick headlines: Kindiki office, 153 million shillings in 75 days choppers bill. This is a story on page 5. It's an interesting read. It says, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki's office blew 153.6 million shillings on helicopter trips across the country in some 75 days last year, according to documents submitted to Parliament.
Meaning that they're using more than 2 million shillings a day.
Yes.
Just to fly around. Where?
450 million.
Kazi kama hiyo.
Wacha nitakuja nikwambie kitu niliona mahali. 450 million is the extra allocation to the Deputy President Office for hospitality and hiring helicopters approved in the supplementary budget. You know, when this story ili make headlines pale social media sana Twitter, I came across a very interesting tweet, and I think a lot of people should see it, including the leaders. Somebody said, amka ujitume ndio the office of the Deputy President ipate pesa ya helicopter.
Helicopter.
Yes.
But you know, between 2022 and now, 2027, you see the number of choppers used for campaigns has really gone up. Every MP nowadays, even those, I remember when we had a panel here and they were going to Olkalau for funeral service. And all of them were using a chopper. What happened to just driving on the road? Yeah? Even Salasi, I'm told, the East MP uses a chopper to go home. Yes. I'm telling you, by the time 2027 inafika, itakuwa ni chopper tu zinapitana tu hivi hewani.
Yes, na bado, we haven't seen it all. Pastor fights auction of 960 shillings property. That's another story here on the front page. On the back page of the Daily Nation, starlets dispatch India, but Australia present bigger test. Talks about the 2026 FIFA series, which Kenya is hosting, and TV47 is the official media partner for this particular event.
That story about the pastor, you know, Pastor Mwiru, many younger Kenyans may not remember him. Pastor Mwiru was very popular back in the day, late 90s and early 2000s. He even ran for president at some point, and he has a very interesting voice. But kuna story hapa page 2. Why unpaid dowry cannot deny a father custody of his child. Unajua ati huku nilipia mahari kwa hivyo hata utapata huyu mtoto. Koti imesema hapana. Kukosa kulipa mahari has nothing to do with you being a dad or a mom. Yeah?
Sina maoni.
Angalia vile unakaa sasa.
Sina maoni. Kama unataka niongee,
lakini lazima ulipe dowry, you still remain a father. All right. It's an interesting story there. Let's take a look at the Star now.
Yeah.
And the Star focuses on something different. SACCOs borrow banks template to shield billions. And I think SACCOs are now coming back to the headlines. Remember, there's a bill that seeks to change how SACCOs are run and how that money can be accessed by government. The bill to introduce term limits for officials, stricter reporting rules, and I think we should look deeply into this bill. I think iko na mambo mingi sana, especially for guys who are saving in SACCOs. What does this bill mean? And tuongea na producer tulete your discussion ya SACCOs and what it means when all these things come up. More interesting stories, of course, yesterday being a Sunday, watu walienda kanisani. President Ruto hosted faithful in State House, na pale Deputy President amedance kweli kweli na wakorino pale. Meanwhile, Tuju also went to church. Tuju turns to prayers amid trouble. So that's the main story. Pale chini, time crunch MP Otiende pushes Ruto and Oburu to act on coalition talks team and how marginalized counties stand to shape 2027 elections. Nyuma, local football brewers beware. Gor Eye crucial win over Tusker as title race tightens. And that's a Star. Fresh, independent, different. If you have 60 shillings here in Kenya, you can buy yourself a copy of this paper.
Janga la Aviator is the main story on the front page of Taifa Leo. Wanaita kamari, Wakenya wengi hasa vijana wamejipata katika mzongo wa mawazo, wengine wakiaga dunia kutokana na athari mbaya za mchezo huo bahati nasibu kwenye simu za mkononi. Habari kamili iko katika ukurasa wa pili. Wanasema vijana wengi wamezama katika mchezo wa kamari ya ndege kwenye simu unaomeza pesa baada ya sekunde chache. Vidokeze zaidi, Gachagua adai kipo kikosi cha kuadhuru, amuonya Ruto kuwa iwapo mmoja wao atauawa, huo utakuwa mwisho wa serikali ya Kenya Kwanza.
Alimwambia that will be your last day at State House. If at all any of the United Opposition leaders is harmed.
Letu
jicho tu. Watu wanarusha hapa threats hapa left right center. Anyway.
Mamilioni ya Pastor Pius Muiru hatarini. Hiyo ni habari pia katika ukurasa wa pili wa gazeti hili. Kule juu wanazungumzia mada nyeti ambazo za msubiri Papa Afrika. Papa anaanza ziara ya Afrika leo, mada za ushoga na wake wengi zikimngoja. The late Pope aliapprove au LGBTQ wakaribisheni kanisani.
Alisema we cannot bagua anyway.
Hatuwezi bagua. Hata wao priests wacha wapate watu. Hapo
sasa ndio kuna shida hapo. I don't think the church doctrine imeenda that far, but anyway, letu jicho tu kama vilivyosema.
Ndio maana wanasema mada nyeti za msubiri Papa Afrika. Na hiyo habari ya GOtv pia imezungumziwa hapo juu katika ukurasa wa pili. Ampa Ruto onyo aikome ODM. Huku chini nimeona anazungumzia Arsenal. Liverpool yajinyanyua, Arsenal pabaya. Ni habari katika ukurasa 20 wa gazeti hili, na hiyo ni gazeti la Taifa Leo.
Let's take a look at the People Daily, and it talks about political party funding, how political parties' funding crisis may derail 2027 election. The story is on page 4. The office entrusted with financing and managing electoral groups, underfunded and under-resourced, paving way to unregulated scramble for post-poll influence. And the question is, because we have so many parties, over 83 registered political parties currently, most of them are funded by the taxpayer, or if you qualify for funding. Is it apparently, because many people may be wondering, what are they used for? Apparently, the office of the registrar of political parties is supposed even to train party officials on how to conduct party matters. Lakini wanasema pesa ndio hakuna.
Ya
kutrain. It has to be hata kama hujaenda shule lazima utrain on how to run a political party. It's not too zile za briefcase. Pale juu, that top strip, goons, guns and grief, dangerous return of intolerance, and this is going to feature in our State of the Nation discussion this morning, the return of goons. You saw what happened in Kikuyu constituency over the weekend. We still freshly remember what happened to Vihiga Senator Godfrey Osotsi, and so many other things. Even in Kitale, kuna watu walilimwa na goons, and so it's become a trend. And this is about 14-15 months to the next election. Is this what we should expect heading into the polls? So that's the People Daily on Ajita, People and Politics.
All right, let's take a look at the Business Daily. If you can just help me with the physical copy. Swiss farm fights Kenya over rejected fuel cargo. That's the main headline on the front page of the People Business Daily this morning. It says Kenya is staring down the barrel of a costly legal battle after terminating 2 super petrol import contracts that were outside its exclusive fuel supply deal with Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Swiss-owned Oryx Energies Kenya, one of the firms contracted in March to import 96,000 tons of super petrol, has written to the Energy Ministry rejecting the contract cancellation. Now, this is another twist, because they were told that that oil cannot operate at substandard oil, quote unquote. Now, correspondence seen by this newspaper indicates that the Energy Ministry informed Oryx Energies of the cancellation on March 31st, just 3 days before 5 senior energy sector bureaucrats were arrested. This story is on page 2, and it's a very interesting read, because this story, as we can remember, was making headlines just at the beginning of Easter celebrations.
But you know, we were told about this. If you cancel a contract with someone, especially a government, then you have to pay. Yeah? And that's the beauty of it. The businessman is not going to lose anything. Yeah. So that's your bill as a taxpayer. You cancelled that deal, you just pay. Hakuna shida ingine. Yeah.
Right. Fresh legal hurdle hits sale of 300 billion shilling stake in EABL. That's another story on the front page of the Business Daily. On the ticker, Treasury raises domestic borrowing target by 570 billion shillings. Kenya Airways bailout era under threat from global competition rules. And of course, farms drain 1 trillion shillings from Kenya through foreign tender deals. And that's the Business Daily.
Yes. On the regional front, issues to do with fuel and oil making headlines on the front page of the East African. Excuse me. Queries as Somalia set for oil boon. Critics say hydrocarbons exploitation deal with Turkey gives Ankara undue advantage, but officials maintain it is fair and in current circumstances. So hata Somalia ako pale. Matters oil again, still on the front page, why fuel shortages will linger in East Africa. Yes, kutakuwa na shida. Remember the entire of last week, Tanzania were just talking about fuel on the front page. Tunaendelea. Museveni Ruto rules kick in at ESC is another story. Na pale kwa front page of the East African we have a picture there of President Paul Kagame of Rwanda and the First Lady lighting a flame at the remembrance of the Kigali Genocide Memorial to mark the 32nd anniversary of the Kibuka of the genocide back in 1994. That's the East African. Tukiangalia magazeti ya Uganda, tunaanza na the Daily Monitor, and I think that's the only paper we have from Uganda this morning. The Daily Monitor talks about school issues, fake PLE exams and results. Mambo ya fake results pia Uganda na kuanga. But once again, education given prominence on the front page of that paper. Hiyo picha iko hapo chini, thousands attended Kabaka birthday run yesterday. Na kuna mzee hapo sijui kama aliweza kukimbia lakini alikuwa pale. Tukivuka boda tuingie kule Bongo, gazeti la Mwananchi, kilio cha wafanyakazi, masuala ni mafuta bado, kupaa bei ya mafuta na bidhaa, vyama sasa vyapigia magoti serikali, waajiri kupunguza mzigo wa gharama, wachumi wataja mbinu za kuwalinda, kodi ya mshahara yatajwa. That's the main story, matters fuel. Tukiangazia gazeti la The Citizen, still in Tanzania, away from matters fuel, it's about Air Tanzania, why ATCL hopes to break even in 2027. Air Tanzania Company Limited is projecting a return to financial stability by 2027. Well, we wish them well. Airlines in this region hazinanga bahati sana. So that's The Citizen.
All right, let's come back home and take a look at the caricatures now, and we start off with the one on the Daily Nation.
Yes. Daily Nation, kuna nguruwe, lakini they're using goons as puppets. Of course, when you use a caricature of a pig, it always refers to politicians.
Yeah.
2027 debate campaign strategy. So it would appear it's now official. The main campaign strategy heading in 2027 is to use goons, crude weapons, hata fair.
Hata fair. One of the people Daily Star no stake, kuna yule mtu alisema, I respect you lakini sikuogopi, yuko hapo. The Senator wa Nyandarua.
Amejaa ndevu kweli kweli. Aha, cartoon on the Star facing the mountain. Kuna jamaa wamekaa hivi wanaangalia mlima lakini kuna State House bal nyuma. Na wao ni kama Wakorino. Ama hizi ni kofia gani hizo?
Ni hao.
Ni Wakorino, walikuwa jana State House.
Walikuwa jana State House. Wakaitwa wasaliti.
I heard somewhere that they were complaining they were expecting 10,000 shillings each, wakapewa 3,000.
Yeah.
Na ikutosha baswe na lunch.
Si president alisema atawasort.
Si walisotiwa.
Sasa wanasema haitoshi.
That's a cartoon of the Star. Finally, the Standard.
The Standard, political projects. Kuna mtu hapo, yeye ni mtu wa political projects. Anasema, see, we are always spoiled for choice.
Oh, political rejects.